Hi, welcome to another video on the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. Got a couple of videos that I got to put together, but I wanted to do this one first, in particular because, again, trying to show how I'm being targeted, trying to show that I am in a coercive persuasion program. Okay, that's one aspect of my targeting. Okay, this coercive persuasion program is being used as a means to silence me, to discredit me, to turn others against me. For the simple fact that I am a non consensual human experimentee. The US government, the FBI, CIA have been experimenting on me and others who we call ourselves TIs, experimented on us using what is called directed energy weapons and mind control technology, right? Also, we have been implanted with microchips in our brain for the study of what is called remote neural monitoring. Okay, so we have no privacy. We're surveilled 24/7, no matter where we go, whether be civilian perps, and also we're tracked through satellite-based system. We're being listened to 24/7. For example, if I'm watching television, there's certain words that will be said on, let's say, a show. For example, I was watching earlier today. I was watching Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and it talked about Sauron army being defeated. As soon as the word defeated is said, police siren, whoop whoop, that's it. Words like win. Somebody said on a TV show, a movie, I won or I win, the police sirens will go whoop whoop. So those type of signal is to let me know that they're monitoring my activity. They're listening. They're watching what I'm watching on the cable, on my computer, on my tablets, on my phone, and anything that has to do with, let's say, because of the campaign that's being, you know, trying to find the word here. The campaign that's being waged against me, that if I come out of head, I'll be killed, I'll be arrested, that sort of thing. So for TIs, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Okay, we're in a situation where everything that we do is scrutinized. We're being placed in situations where we have been manipulated, our mind has been manipulated, and the decisions that we make are not positive to our well-being. Okay, because we are constantly being undermined, whether it be externally or internally, with the use of directed energy weapons, mind control weapons like silent sound spread spectrum. And not also do they manipulate you, but they manipulate the people around you. And I'm going to give you an example of how they use my son, my 8-year-old son, in trying to send me subliminal message and to let me know that, this is what we can do, right? So from time to time, they'll get very bold, very brave, and they'll do things like that. And I'm going to show you. But first, yesterday, I went to pick up my son from school, and I saw there was a homeless guy, hanging around in front of the yard where the parents go to pick up their children, because that's where the children come out. And the minute I turned the corner and I saw him and he saw me, he started fidgeting. It was like, seeing me was like a trigger for what he has been conditioned to do, which is to harass me in some way, right? So he started fidgeting. He started grabbing on his coat, putting his hands behind his head, all that stuff, right? So I just ignored him, and I went into the yard, waited for my son. Then he came out, and I kept looking to see if the homeless guy would be there. Of course he was, because after I went in the schoolyard and I kept looking, he was just standing there. He wasn't doing anything. His hands wasn't moving like when he first saw me. He wasn't doing all that stuff. So I'm walking out with my son, and all of a sudden he started going into his bag.
School, I saw the homeless guy here. This is how they use the homeless.
So now that I'm coming, look, he goes into his bag. Okay. He sees me coming, so he goes into his bag, and he takes out. You can't really see it right here, but I can see it because the way how I had the camera, I had it lower than my head, so you're not able to see what he had in the bag that he wanted to show me, right? Which was a hard drive, a computer hard drive, okay? And I was like, why would they want him to show me a computer hard drive, okay? Did they steal one of my hard drives, Did they put something on my hard drive, I mean, I know there's spyware and stuff on my hard drive because, just from my experience, and they doing things to let me know that, we have access to your computer, move around my files, delete stuff, all that sort of thing. So, like I said, the minute he saw me as I was walking with my son, and let me go back so you can see. So he's standing there.
This is
now
how they use the homeless theme.
He turns, he sees me. All of a sudden, he goes into his bag, right? So, in his hand, in the bag, he takes out a hard drive. And it was very subtle. I guess because I had the camera, so, trying to make it not obvious.
In front of the school. And of course, he's there.
And as I was saying and trying to explain, now, my son has been going to that school for 4 years now. Okay? I have never seen a homeless person hanging out in front of that school because there's always school safety officers driving around. But on this particular day, okay, when they're trying to send me a subliminal message, when they're trying to use the homeless theme, you don't see any police nor school safety officers. The only person that's there is the crossing guard. Okay? So how convenient is that? They're there every other day except for yesterday when they were using the homeless theme on me. Okay?
Time that I have to go pick up my son. This is coercive persuasion. It's just the threat of psychological threat of homelessness. This is the homeless theme that they run.
Okay, so that was one point that I want to show and I wanted to make. Now, when I pick up my son, as we were walking, as I had to go pick up his sister, and I went to pick up his sister, and they had a doctor's appointment yesterday. So usually, when they have doctor's appointment after school, I really don't have time to make that many things. So I'm like, okay, let's go to McDonald's to get something to eat. So we'll drive to the McDonald's to get something to eat. So my son said to me, Daddy, I don't feel like McDonald's today. So I said, okay, what do you feel like? So he says, Checkers. I said, really? Now, I know my kids, okay? I know my kids. They will never turn down a McDonald's Happy Meal, right? Especially when they're getting toys. Never. So why he's telling me that he wants to go to Checkers, right? And Checkers, for those of you who don't know what Checkers is like it's a fast food restaurant, not quite as big as McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's, but you know they're in New York, right? So I said, listen, we'll just go to McDonald's. It's just easier that way, right? So I'm gonna prove a point, and which is my next video.
Remember when I asked you if you wanted to go to McDonald's? You told me no. You said you feel like eating what? What did you say you feel like eating?
Checkers.
Checkers, right? Okay, I just wanted to
Right. So if you've watched all of my videos or listened to my shows, I talked about how they can condition people's mind without them even knowing it, right? Either through hypnosis or through the use of directed energy weapons, mind control weapons. And with my son, I noticed that every single time they influence him, they condition him to target me or to send me subliminal message. Whenever I go pick him up from school, I always notice that both of his shoelaces were untied. So it wasn't surprising to me when he said he wanted to go to Checkers. I knew something was up. And the fact that the night before, which was Thursday night, I was sleeping in the bed. His mom was next to me, and this was around maybe after 2 o'clock at night. I started hearing a whole bunch of sirens. Okay, and me and her both wake up at the exact same time, right? So I had my back away from her. She had like our backs were like together, so we were facing opposite of each other, so we both woke up at the same time. I looked at her. She didn't even look at me. She took one of her hand, and pressed it on the back of her shoulder. So she took her thumb, actually. So she took her thumb and pressed it on the back of her shoulder, and she went back to sleep. Now, realizing that we are being microwaved, I went to reach my phone. Now, all the while, the sirens were going off. I went to reach for my phone so I can record the noise, and just in case, they have mind control her to target me again. Immediately, when I grabbed my phone and I had my phone in my hand, the sirens stopped. Okay? And it's not to say that, they were driving and the sound got lesser and lesser as they drove further and further away. The sound was at a consistent level, and as soon as I had my phone in the hand, it stopped completely. Okay? So, like I said, I wasn't surprised. So anyway, back to the video. So, we walked back to the house. I told him, grab a juice, grab a quick snack, and we were headed back down, and we, got to the car. Now, as I was approaching the car to open the door, I noticed that there was a cup, one of those fast food cups that they give you your drink in, right behind the wheel on the driver's side. And this was done purposely. So, because like I said, when I parked there earlier, right, that cup wasn't there. All right, there was nothing there. Okay, so when I looked at the cup, I'm just gonna play the video.
Do this video. Let me see if I can film this. So I'm taking the kids to the doctor. Got in the car, and let's see. Can we get there? Can I get there?
Okay, that right there is a cup from Checkers, the fast food restaurant that my son said he want to go to. Okay? So, do you see how they target me? Do you see how they use the people around me, including my children, to target me? Okay? And when they do this, they're letting me know that, you know what, we're influencing your children's mind to target you. And, for those TIs who have kids, young kids, you can't get mad at your children. You can't get upset because they're not doing anything. They are being manipulated. Their minds are being manipulated. Thoughts are put into their mind. Okay? Which is geared to targeting you and sending you a subliminal message. You have to understand that. So you can't get angry. You can't take it out on them because it's not them. Okay? And, and I do this with all my children. And the people around me too. My sister, my nephews, my nieces. They'll do stuff like that. When I'm home, my nephew kids come over. My kids are there. They particularly love to use my nephew's son. If I go to the bathroom, he comes out into the hallway. When I come out the bathroom, he comes out in the hallway again. I'm in the kitchen cooking or washing dishes. He'll come in the kitchen, look at me, turn around, and go back out. Multiple times during the day. Okay? And at that point, like I said, I know we're being microwaved. Because later on, I get headaches. Okay? And so, this is the things that they do that I wanted to show. And you heard my son said, he said he wanted to go to check it. Like I said, I know my kids. Okay? They will not pass up a McDonald's Happy Meal for nothing.
Put thoughts into people's head and have them repeat it.
So, I mean, it's just incredible. So anyway, so we end up going to the doctor. And, I asked how long it was going to take before the pediatrician see the kids. And, the guy was like, I don't know, maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. So I said, okay, my son has homework to do. I'm going to go back to the car. He's going to do this homework. I gave him my number. I said, call me when you're ready, when the doctor's ready to see the kids, right? Went back to the car, and I kid you not, we sat in the car. Within the space of half an hour, the number of cars that drove by with the license plate, with the 32 in the license plate. Remember, 32 is a number in which they have conditioned me. It is a trigger to something that they have put into my subconscious, but I have no clue. You know what I'm saying? I just know that I see the repeated patterns of that number, okay, far too many times for it to be coincidence, right? So, before I get to that, before we get to the doctor, after I took the kids to McDonald's, and I exit out the McDonald's parking lot and I turn onto this street, I saw a police car. The police car is this white car right here. Okay? It is a white car right here where the cursor's at. And the lights was flashing. Now, this police car doesn't have any mounted lights, okay? But they have lights in the back of the car, in the front, and their headlights. And they were flashing. So I stopped the car, and I put my phone on the camera mount because I had forgot to do that as I exit out the McDonald's. And this is probably something that they influenced me to not do. You know what I'm saying? Because the minute I stopped the car to put the phone on the camera mount, they turned off their lights. Okay?
McDonald's. Before we go to the doctor, and I pull out of
Let me just speed up a little bit.
Over.
Because
Pulled over.
while I was taping, I turned the camera to record the police vehicle, and I accidentally ended the video. So, but the police car is right there. You can see, right there. Okay. And at this point, like I said, I went to turn it, and I accidentally, turned off the video. So anyway, like I said, fast forward, got to the doctor. I already explained what was going on. Went back to the car so my kid could do his homework. So Ethan could do his homework. And I kid you not, it's like like I said, within the space of half an hour, the amount of cars that pull up to the stoplight where I was parked with the number 32 in it. And I just got a glimpse of few.
Waiting for the doctor. Ethan is doing his homework, waiting for to be called. And, it doesn't take long again before they start sending vehicles with the license plate number.
The 32. There you go.
That they used to target me with.
And again,
there's another
one. And it got to the point where I just like, you know what, I've done enough recording of it. It's like, so I just stopped ignoring it, and I just helped Ethan do his homework until he finished. Now, on the way from the doctor, heading back to the house, I saw this lady standing in the street. Now, she's not standing on the sidewalk, okay? She is standing in the street. Because the minute I pulled up, she was there. And I know that they knew that this is the street I was coming out on, because that's where they sent her. And she's just standing there. She's acting like she's on her phone. But, I tell you, that these people are really, really sick. They're really sick, So here she is. Now, the light changed, okay? Now, she is not going in this direction. She's not going in this direction because, as you can see, it was a red light before, so she could have crossed the street at any time. But again, they use, women. Sometimes they'll use like, you'll see the perps. They'll always like, they'll take their bag off their shoulder when they see you, or they'll hold it up. If they're wearing a backpack, they'll turn around so you can see their book bag or their backpack and stuff like that. So that again is a trigger, right? So there you go. And she wouldn't even move out the way. I had to, go around her because she was in the street. She was in my way, and I had to go, diverge from hitting her, and she just standing there, But that's the perps, and like I said, they feel brave enough, or they felt brave enough that they can target me heavily at this point. But you know what? Thank goodness for cell phones nowadays, because they have camera, and you can record, what's happening to you. You can record how they target you in this coercive persuasion program. Okay. Let me fast forward, see if there's anything else. Okay. Yeah. So, I just wanted to do this video just to show, how they target me and how to use the different tactics and techniques to target me, and try to send me subliminal messages. And again, coercive persuasion programs, this is what they do. This is, in a coercive persuasion, the threat of homelessness, the constant psychological harassment, the tactics that they use, the intimidation method, the intimidation tactics. You know, I hope that I'm able to show and explain in a way that, people would say, you know what, this guy is absolutely correct of what's being done to him, you know, and that's all. It's like these people who are doing this, they expect me to, you know, take it on the chin and not do anything, because in Aggressive Persuasion program, one of the main thing that they do is to silence you, okay? And they will, like I said, they threaten my kids that they're gonna do the same thing to my kids. They threaten me, with assassinations, poisoning and stuff like that, you know. But I'm not that kind of guy who you can experiment on, psychologically abuse, and think that, I'm just going to take it on the cheek. That's not going to happen. Okay? It is what it is. And that's how we as TIs, we have to continue to fight, expose what's being done, and hopefully one day, and hopefully it's soon, that these people are caught, and this type of abuse, and experimentation, non-consensual experimentation, will stop. Okay, because I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for my children, and I'm doing this for future generations of TIs, so that they know exactly what's being done, and they have a chance to, learn about it quickly. Learn how to defend themselves. Learn how to collect the evidence, and hopefully, they can use it to their advantage.